Today we are going to do our rye harvest. We're getting everything ready. We're actually going to get through all the harvests for this year in today's episode. We're getting our grain cart all set up here. Gonna get it out to the field. The harvester is already prepped, but we've also made the decision we're not going to do cattle in this playthrough. We're going to focus on that flour mill once we can purchase it, as we talked about last episode. We can see that our crop is coming in here real good. This is the triticale, so that's coming in nice. We have the mustard that's close to being ready to be harvested. And yeah, and the rye here. So those are our 4 fields, but before we actually get this started here, we got everything prepped. Let's take a look at some things we can sell. So we're not going to need the manure spreader because we're not going to have manure. So let's go ahead and sell that for $23,000. We're not going to need the slurry spreader. We can sell that for $23,000. And we're so close. We are so close. What else is there that we just don't? Oh, we don't need the water tank. 18,000. Without having to sell our other property, that right there has got us the money. And before we start the harvest, we're going to jump in the truck and we're going to take a little drive and get that purchased. I think we will need, well, we have the John Deere for its forks. I was going to say we need a forklift, but if we have the John Deere, there's going to be no reason for that. We can just keep that over there when we need to. And this truck's probably going to stay in that area as well because it's going to be used for, well, we might do some baling for some extra cash too. So those are things to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and just, head that way and I'll see you at the flour mill. I think we went the wrong way. We want to go back this way. Keep calling it a flour mill. It is a grain mill technically, but the output is flour, so that's why I call it that. Yeah, I know some people aren't a big fan of the in-cab driving, and this is, we'll probably do a mixture of it in other series, but definitely going to stay true to that in this playthrough. We haven't been showing in-cab when we're doing much work on the fields, so I think it's a good mixture here. It's just a nice way to play the game, in my opinion. Makes it feel a little more realistic to me, going 55 on a dirt road. We'll slow down. All right, we have arrived. So this was the place that we were selling things. The first harvest we had. $288,000. It is now ours. We have $11,000 left over. Yeah, I can't see you good. Can't see you good right there. We're just gonna put this right here for now. And harvest is officially started, and we are dropping some swath here, some straw. So while that is going, we are gonna grab the John Deere. We're gonna start making those bales. Gonna multitask here. And once we have a decent amount in the grain cart, there's no reason to not get it over to the flour mill. The grain mill. So that's definitely something we'll be keeping them focus on and paying attention to as we do these harvests. And I believe the mustard one will be next. All right, getting on the field here to start making some bales. Should just be regular straw, so we'll get to sell these. And yeah, the John Deere's gonna struggle a little bit, but I definitely wanted more power on the grain cart once that gets extra weight on it for driving around, though thinking through it here, might not be the best choice. And we're missing a little bit, so let's get over to the left, try to get centered on this swath. And this is something that cab view definitely helps for, but don't necessarily need to do that. And we'll try to, oh, they doing no headlands? I thought I set it up for 1, but that's why it's gonna struggle. Yeah, we gotta reconfigure that. But we need to get out of their way. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people that were really annoyed by that little bit of straw on the dirt road. It's gone now. Oh, is this gonna be one of those where this thing's gonna be blocked by the ground? Oh, the bale. That'll do it. All right, let's get her done. We're all set up. It's just time to get the work done. All right, this bale should be safe where we're gonna probably need to move it as well. So I'm gonna shut this off. We're gonna detach. We're gonna get those bales out of the way. Try not to drive on our other field here. But we do have 2 bales right now that might end up being problematic. And I need to adjust the settings so they don't do the rounded corners because we're losing a lot during harvest with course play here. But that's all right. Go ahead and just snag this. Get it out of the way for now. This would probably work better if we swapped out the tires, but I think we're okay. I think we're okay. And ideally, we are falling a little bit behind the harvester, and that was somewhat by design here. All right, those are out of the way, and safe for the harvester to keep on doing its job. Let's get hooked back up and continue baling. Before we do that, they looks like they are full, but I wanted to take a look at the yield we're getting, 120%. We did something right. And sneaking through here to get them unloaded, you know, we went around, I know it was a different crop type, but we went around the headland and started doing ups and downs last harvest before the combine filled up. This is looking much better. A little over half the headland done here. Almost the full headland, honestly, but much better yield. You know, we can see the grain mill. It's right back there in the background, so it's not very far. Once this is unloaded, we are going to take this $8,000 or 8,000 liters over there to get the process going. Not sure how much flour we're going to get, but I did mention that I want to be able to make a profit from it. So we'll be paying attention to how much flour we sell, and we're going to keep going until we make $288,000 of flour at minimum. Yeah, only going to be able to go 22. Would have been a lot slower in the John Deere. We are getting up to a little bit quicker speed. Loving it, multitasking. All right, this barely fits under here. I think we'll do the grain door just because that would make a lot more sense. So let's get that changed. Yeah, right there. Let's take a, oh, it does still tip, so that doesn't make any sense then. And it should be rye flour that we want to activate. And we didn't plant more buckwheat. We did the triticule, so we will be selling the mustard because it doesn't go in here. And then next cycle, we'll definitely add to what we're producing and make sure that we're putting crops in that are going to all go to the flour mill. Exciting. We should get a little bit of flour out of that, but we still have more to harvest. And the two biggest fields will bring in goods for the flour mill this time around. And unloading on the go here, just giving them some time so we can focus on baling after we get this done. So let's finish this pass and we'll get back to baling. I'll see you in a little bit. I think they're just about going to be full here, and you gotta love when the AI system causes traffic jams. We got a standoff here. It's been there for a little bit. I don't know how long it takes them to time out, but we're gonna find out. And they're almost in the way of the harvester there too, so looking okay now. But yeah, gosh, not sure what that car was thinking, causing a huge little traffic jam, and they're just at this point being stubborn. And the grain cart is full. About halfway done at this point, so nice to see. We're gonna be at another like about 12,000, no, well, you know, 14,000 liters almost to go over to the flour mill eventually. And we can go ahead and unload right here. I don't think they're gonna continue. I think since they're full, they're gonna just stay here. Yep, and then we'll, oh, nope. Nope. Let's turn around so we can help them out. Course play, proving me wrong. I do think they did the right thing. But this time they should get to the end of this headland, or this pass, and then we should be able to finish unloading them. Yep, there they go. We'll cruise forward with them. And then, you know, if they continue, they're being silly, but we'll see what they do here. Perfect. No reason to rush this to the grain mill yet. If we fill up this grain cart all the way, we'll do that at that point. And back to baling. Not bad. We're going to save that bottom pass there to the end so that there's no bales in the way. But we're not, you know, too far from catching up, and I think we are going a little bit quicker, except for when we slow down to unload, so we might end up catching up before the end of the harvest. Yeah, I feel like this is a good time to swap back to the grain cart and get them unloaded. Yeah, a little bit more powerful equipment would be nice. This is even struggling with this weight, which we were concerned about, and they did fill up back there. Okay. Yeah, only being able to go 7. John Deere would have been struggling even more. So that's why we're struggling on the John Deere on the baler. Just a little underpowered with everything we got running here, but we're getting by. Just takes a little bit longer to do things. And I'm hoping this allows them to finish. Though it may, well, us going forward should. We'll see. All right, we got a little bit more room in there. So I think we'll just keep baling. And then once we get that to 100%, like I said, we'll take it in. But making good time with everything. Harvester is doing the last pass as we are slowly catching up here, and I think we're gonna be good for them to finish, and then they might have, yeah, they have a little strip yet to do, so we probably need to get that bale out of the way, and they're about to be full also. So we will be heading to the grain mill here in a moment. Let's go ahead and switch back here. Yeah, when we pull it this way is really when it struggles. There we go. All right, we're definitely just gonna get this to 100% because we're not gonna be able to completely unload them, but I think we'll be able to give them enough relief to finish the harvest. And we'll make sure the John Deere is out of the way before we head to the grain mill, because I think it is going to be in the way when they turn around. Oh, it shouldn't be. And 100. All right, so 28,000 liters, and we already took 8 over there. So that's what, 36,000? Not sure exactly how much flour that's going to turn into, but it's a good start. Got this field to the left also is our biggest field that's going to be all utilized for flour, if we're able to make it there. All right, how's this thing lining up? They are going that way, okay. Try to push this strategically out of the way here. Like so. And they should be clear. Yeah, they're clear of the John Deere. All right, let's head in. Seems like a pretty good yield for that field compared to what we had last time. I think we're at like, what, 50 or 60%, so we definitely doubled it. And they are done. Calling for us to unload. We'll have to head back there and do it. Nice to see our bales and everything over there. Okay, while that unloads, we're gonna go grab this truck that we shouldn't have left over here, and we're gonna set it up on follow me so it can get back for loading the bales. Not sure about this spot. Should work though. We can just leave that there for now. Take this over. This isn't going to be helpful. We're going to use the other trailer. We're going to reconfigure the grain trailer. That's hilarious. Yeah, the mustard's almost ready. It's almost too bright. Like, we turn off reshade, it looks a little better, but yeah, that's like, it's hurting my eyes. So I think when we're over there, reshade's definitely getting shut off. Let's go ahead and finish the baling, and then we will worry about the bales. So it's another 4,000 liters. So we did over 40,000 liters in rye. I think that's pretty good for this small field. Actually pretty blown away. I think we did great. Having that 120% yield bonus definitely helped. Oh, there's flour. Look at that. We've already produced some extra fine premium flour. And that used about 2,000 or about 1,500 liters, so roughly 30,000 liters of flour we're gonna get, which at its peak sell for 2,600. So doing a little math there, we need a lot more flour, or a lot more grain, to get the goal of $288,000 worth of flour. So I did mention in the beginning, if I didn't edit it out, we're not gonna do every harvest. I don't wanna rush it. I wanna make sure we give the right time to this, and we're gonna get through the mustard harvest next, possibly get some cultivation going on this field so we can start prepping it. We'll probably wanna get it planted in August. We're gonna wanna look at the calendar again for that though, maybe August or September, but heading in to reconfigure this so it can handle the bales for us. That truck might get sold too. That was a mistake. All right, we're gonna make a little bit of money right now. I did get all the bales moved out of the way, and then I checked. Prices are good. We are going to use auto load here, and unfortunately this is all it's taking in one trip, so it's going to be a little bit of a commute back and forth all the way to Katie's place. Probably give you an update when we're done. Definitely seems like this is a time when being lazy is going to cost us more trips instead of loading them manually, you know. But here's the first time selling it. We'll show you the amount here, and then we'll go get the rest. So 6,500 plus, we're getting an environmental score bonus now of $239. We got, I think, 4 more trips that we're gonna have to make, so I'll see you in a little bit. I have to see this. Is this like a hobbit house? What the heck is that? It's like a bunker? It's a hobbit house. That made my day. Is that what this is too, or is this just a mound? That's just a mound, it looks like. Crazy. There is a place that is a lot closer that we're gonna attempt to go to. That's just a couple dollars less per 1,000 liters. So I think we're gonna hop the creek here and be able to just, oh, there was a bridge right there. We'll use the bridge next time. And this is a grass field on both sides, so it shouldn't be too bad to drive in. We can see the location we're headed to now. That'll be much quicker. Save some diesel. Might make up the difference in the cost. All right. Nice little bale sales location here. Yeah, about the same amount of money. Not bad. Let's take the legitimate route home here. I don't think we've been to this part of the map. Pretty sweet. And that field back there had a little pond in it too. So if we come here and turn to the right, that'll take us back towards our farm. And then the road we should have taken is this dirt road up here. Instead of cutting through like we did, and we can get back over there that way. Nice. Yeah, I'll give you a decent look at the map over here. I love all the props with the bales everywhere. Well done. And the last 4 bales here. Maybe. There we go. We're up to 33,000 bucks. It's not going to count towards that 288 that we were talking about though. Like this would drive me nuts if this was my field. Oh man. Well, property maintenance of 1,600 a month ate into our balance, but we really don't have much to buy right now, so I think that's all right. We're going to get cultivation going with a worker here. We're going to take the John Deere over to the mustard fields, and we're going to get harvesting going on that. AI worker is all set there. I mean, we were struggling either way, so I think I'd rather have this set up on the cultivator and us take the grain cart and struggle with it ourselves here. Starting to be my favorite way of connecting implements. All right, let's look forward here. Okay, we'll see ya at the mustard fields. So this seems like the right size of a harvest that I'm just gonna put the cart over here next to the field. We're gonna do the harvest ourselves. And I just, unless mustard yields an insane amount, we're not going to fill up that cart. But pretty cool doing a new crop type here. And looks like we do not have a swath dropping for straw, so a little less to do on this field. So just the mustard. And we'll check prices. We're getting, you know, we knew this wasn't a great field. So we're still only getting 88% yield here. And the lime was messed up, because we use liquid lime and it wouldn't allow us to apply the solid lime afterwards. So next time around on this field, we should get it in the green and not yellow, at least a little bit of green. But let's get this done. And just a little skinny pass to do here. We didn't even come close to filling up the combine, which I thought would be the case here. So after we get this pass done, we'll get it unloaded and figure out if we're going to sell it or store it momentarily. All right, official number is 4,329 liters of mustard. All right, getting that unloaded. Let's take a look at prices. And here's mustard. It looks like we are going to store it. It is $500. $500 per 1,000 liters. So we would lose about 20,000 bucks here. A little bit more than that if we sold it now. No, $2,000. Just 2,000. Just 2,000. But still, every dollar counts. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this put away. We're gonna finish cultivating if they're not already. And I am way recorded ahead because this week that you're seeing this, I'm not gonna be able to record. We got some family coming into town, having a staycation. Gonna do some sightseeing, but we'll get back to regularly scheduled program the week of the 22nd or 23rd, whatever it is. We'll be streaming, hoping to get back on the live streams Monday and Wednesday and get the regular episodes released on Tuesday and Friday, as well as the supercuts on Thursday. Tuesday and Friday is the regular episodes. They're doing good here. I'm enjoying this series. Next episode, we'll finish harvest season and probably get all the way through planting season. Gonna move a little bit quicker than we did through the first few episodes. Not gonna be a super long series. I think we're about halfway done with it at this point. But we will see when it comes time to sell flour how much longer we have. I'm Socksway Up. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll catch you on the next episode.